Welcome to day 2 of the Ancestor Power Challenge. So I hope that you finished day 1, that you got your worksheet all filled out, that you took a look and chose an ancestor and looked at what you already know about them, filled out the worksheet as good as you can. I have chosen to look into the life of my second great grandmother. So I did that alongside with you. So now today for day 2, we're going to see how much we can learn from one additional record. So a lot of people find records, collect records, attach records to their ancestors, but they don't actually really look at them. And one of the most powerful shifts that you can make in genealogy is really slowing down and seeing what's there. So today I want you just to choose one record. If you're newer, start with a census record, and I'm going to show you how to look for a census record at the end of this video. So if you need help with that, make sure you watch all the way to the end. But if you're more experienced, maybe you want to choose maybe a census record still, or maybe a vital record like a birth, marriage, or death, maybe a newspaper article, or even just historical information about where they lived, just something that gives you a little more insight into their life. So then instead of moving quickly and just finding the record and they're done, I want you to slow down. I want you to look at every detail that you can find in that record. So on the worksheet that you'll get, already got my day 2 done here. On this worksheet, then you will write down all of the details from that record. So if you chose a census record, that's what you'll see on step 2. You can write down all of the details. So their age, their estimated birth year based on that age, where the census was taken, their address if it's available, occupation, all of that sort of thing. Okay, you're going to write down all of those details. If you're looking for another record, then on the second page of the worksheet, you can just add in whatever details you find on that other record. Okay. So even small details matter. You're not trying to find everything. You're just learning how to see one piece of their life more clearly. So if you're not sure where to look, something like the Family Search Research Wiki can help you understand what records exist for a place, but keep it simple today. If you are just starting, look for a census record. If they lived in the United States or Canada, even England or Wales, you can find census records relatively easy for those locations. If you're looking for someone from a different country, then look at the Family Search Research Wiki. That is located on Family Search, and I'll show you how to look at that at the end of this video as well. Okay. So by the end of the day today, you will realize that there's more in these records than you thought. You can find more details, more information, more of an understanding of who your ancestors were just by looking longer and deeper and taking more time looking at these records that you have about them. And if you want to even go deeper, then you can kind of correlate. So when I looked at my great-great-grandmother, I looked at all the census records and then found where she was living in each one and how she kind of moved around. That can help give you an understanding. I don't want you to worry about spending lots of time on this. Just look at one record. Even if you already have records attached to your ancestor, maybe you already have a family tree, choose one of the records, one of the sources that are there, and just look deeper. Find all of the details that you can find about them. Okay. Tomorrow, we're going to take what you've learned and turn it into something meaningful. All right, so if you want more help with the rest of it, keep watching. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. And if you want to share a detail that you found in the Facebook group, just go to the Facebook group, start a new post, or comment on the video from today and just let me know a small detail that you learned about your ancestor, something new or some more understanding that you were able to find. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. So if you need more help, if you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, Megan, please help me. Okay, I'm going to show you some little tricks for looking for a census record, and then I'll show you first the Family Search Research Wiki if you already have all the census records, or you're like, I want to find something more, but I don't want to look for census record. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to share my screen and walk you through a few things. If you don't need help with this, you don't need to watch it, but if you want some more help, I would just want to help you out so you don't feel stuck. Okay, so when you go to FamilySearch.org, if you don't have an account, you can create a new account. You don't even have to create an account to access the Research Wiki. So you can go to FamilySearch.org and then click on Search, the tab here, and then click on Research Wiki. So this is a really helpful tool, especially if you're researching someone in a location that you haven't researched them in before, or if you're just starting out. Guided research is a great tool. You can give that a try, but I just want to show you how you can just click on the location where your ancestor lived. I'm just going to do Canada for my ancestor that I'm looking at. She lived in New Brunswick, which is, there we go. Okay, and then this gives you all sorts of information about searching in that location. Then on the right-hand side, they have different record types. If you are looking for civil registration, that would be like birth, marriage, and death, or vital records. I'm not sure which one it is, but we're going to click on vital records and just take a look. Okay, and then it shows you all of these databases where there's records, okay? So I know for New Brunswick, the vital statistics come from a government website, so it links to that there. There are some other birth databases here that I could look through, the New Brunswick archives here, and that sort of thing. So that's just a really quick rundown. The Family Search Research Wiki is a great tool, and give that a try if you want some help knowing what records there are and where to look for them. Okay, so now we're going to go back to my great-great-grandmother here. So I was able to look through what sources we already had for her. We have quite a few sources, but I wanted to just see if we had all of census records because I want to show you how to look for a census record. Now, for some reason, Family Search doesn't have the 1921 Canada census. So I went and looked for it on Ancestry, and I'm going to show you how you do that. But if you want to find out if your ancestor has all the censuses, you just look on their sources and see what there are. So for Canada, they're on the one of every decade, so like 1861, 71, 81, 91. In the United States, they're on the actual decade, so like 1850, 1860, 70, 1890 was mostly destroyed, so you're not going to find your ancestor in there, chances are. And then 1900, 1910, and it goes all the way up to 1950 in the United States. Canada, we have available till 1931. Other locations in the world are going to have census records too. You'll just have to use the research wiki to find those. Okay, so I had all of her censuses except the 1921 census, so I'm going to show you how I look for that. There's lots of different ways how to look for census records. I could look if I know it's on Family Search, which most of the census records are on Family Search. You can click on Search. I like to go to Records, and then I like to search the one specific census record I'm looking for. You're going to have way less results, and if their name was misspelled or whatever, you're more likely to find it. So if you click on Find a Collection here, so I can just, let's say I'm looking for the U.S. 1930 census, okay? So United States Census 1930, then I can just type an ancestor's name in here. He was living there then, but let's just see. So then you can just see what shows up, what results there are. All right, he is there. So there's my great-grandfather. He's living in Salt Lake City, and then you can access that census record like that. So you can I would just put minimal information. You don't have to put very much when you're looking for censuses. Basically just their name, location, and birth year. The birth year is going to be an estimate because usually recorded their age, and then their birth year is just kind of estimated off of that. So I would put a range if you need to. So that is how you can find a census record in Family Search. I'm just going to show you quick in Ancestry how you can do that. Now, Ancestry is a paid subscription, but some of the census records are actually free on here, depending on which one you're looking for. Looking for the same kind of thing here. I'm just going to go to Search and then Census and Voter Lists. And then I can narrow here. I'm going to look for the Canadian census. And I want to look for the one specific 1921 census. So I scroll all the way to the bottom and it includes all of the different ones here. So 1921 Census of Canada. Okay, so then I'm going to put her name in here, Eleanor, and you put their married name if they were married at the time of this census that you're looking for. Her birth year, 1853. I'm going to add a bit of a range just because sometimes their ages are not right. Okay, I could probably leave it at that because Canada is not a huge populated place, but I am just going to put New Brunswick because I'm pretty sure that's where they were living, and I can do exact to that if I want. And let's just see if that shows up. All right, so here we go. This looks like the right one. So then I can click on that. So you can look at the indexed information here, but I always like to look at the image because sometimes, well, not sometimes, they don't put all of the information here, okay? Sometimes, and also sometimes things are indexed wrong, okay? So always look at the image. So first I'm gonna see, okay, she's in Moncton, New Brunswick. Okay, then I find that here. You can see her husband, Christian Emil Nielsen, and Eleanor, then their son, Arnie Elijah. Okay, so then I can get all of the details from this. So first, when we look at the top, we see that they were living in Moncton, New Brunswick. Okay, so I already have one piece of information. Then we can see that she's living with her husband and son. Can see her address was 151, and I believe that's Enterprise Street in Moncton. Okay, so you'll need to look at the tabs here. These are kind of hard to read. So you might have to do a Google search to like find out what those headings are. This heading means that they rented for $35 a month. You can see her age here was 67. Her husband was from Norway. She was born in New Brunswick, so were her parents. Let me keep going along here. They're Baptist, and she can read and write. Her husband was a painter. She had no occupation, and he earned $500 in the past 12 months. So you can see that we can learn a lot of information there. We can learn her their occupation, we can learn religion, where they lived, and all of that. And just because I always love looking up addresses, I was like, okay, let's see if 151 Enterprise Street is still there. I did a Google search and it's not there. Okay, so there is Enterprise Street here. There's lots of old houses, but it goes up to I think 71 on this side. So their house was probably about right here. So kind of neat. Then you can at least see where that was in relation to Moncton, New Brunswick. So you can do that same thing for your own ancestor. Okay, so hopefully that helps you get started looking for some records about your ancestor. Just choose one record. If you're brand new, see if you can find a census record and write down all of the clues that you can find about them. And then share what you find in the Facebook group. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.